What's up, everybody? Welcome back to our E3 post-press conference recaps. Today we're talking about
the Funcast.
We're talking about the Microsoft conference. So
holy crap!
Yeah,
what a good conference.
So it started with, like, before they did anything, they just faded in a video of the new Xbox One S, which did leak last night, but not all the details. But the new Xbox One S is 40% smaller.
That's a ridiculous amount.
It looks really small. It looks maybe a little bit smaller than a PS4 or about the same size.
I think it's smaller than a PS4.
No longer VCR size.
Not to get to any kind of argument or anything with the 40% smaller, but you mentioned many times about saying, like, how the heck are they going to be able to get 4K gaming into a box that size? But if the Xbox One is now 40% smaller,
the Scorpio will not be.
I know that. Yeah. But I'm saying if the Scorpio is the same size as the Xbox One now, I guess you can.
The Xbox One, I always thought you could. It's the PS4. I thought you couldn't get 4K gaming into that.
Okay,
but
continuing.
So the Xbox One S has an integrated power supply, which is awesome. 40% smaller, which is awesome. Ultra HD and high dynamic range support for streaming services like Netflix and Amazon. Based on the way they worded it in the announcement and based on the Xbox website, I don't believe we're getting 4K Blu-ray support, which is a little bit of a bummer. But for a price of $300, like, it's still pretty awesome.
That's the price of a new console now, and
right?
Yeah, get a more upgraded hard drive.
Is it up to 2 terabytes?
That might have been something that kept the cost.
I bet it starts at one
terabyte for $300 and like $350 for 2 terabyte. But that's an awesome price.
Plus, the controllers have Bluetooth support now built in, which is pretty cool.
And it has an IR blaster in the front of the console, which I thought the Xbox One had now for TV remotes with their DVR features. I could be wrong, but. So that was like the very beginning of the conference was that. And like they just dumped it on us and then immediately moved on. And they announced, this is just probably the most exciting thing I think about the conference is Xbox Play Anywhere. Would you guys agree?
Oh, absolutely. That was great.
This is their new initiative where if you buy a game on Windows 10, the Windows 10 store, or on Xbox, you are buying a digital copy that works on both. So your save goes across, it's cross-buy, cross-save, cross-play, and based on what they announced later, it sounds like cross-chat. Everything is completely compatible. You and your friends on PC and Xbox One can play together on every single Microsoft exclusive game they talked about during the conference, except for some of the ID at Xbox indies that they showed. They didn't say it for all of them. So the first one they showed was Gears of War 4. They showed off some gameplay. I mean, it looks like more Gears. It's really pretty.
It was a very interesting environment. It looks like it'd be fun.
Yeah.
I think we'd enjoy that.
And they have the Gears of War Elite controller. We were hoping they were going to announce like a price drop on the Elite controller.
That would have been nice.
But a Gears of War version of it. I mean, it looks pretty sweet if you're really into Gears of War. I wouldn't spend $150 on that.
Well, the whole point of
the bloody controller.
The whole thing about the Elite controller is such a gorgeous, sleek, like everything looked like polish.
Yeah,
and I feel like adding that styling on there kind of cheapens.
But I guess you have the like crazy pro MLG people that do play Gears of War.
Yeah. I mean, I can see how people would be into
those crazy pro ones.
But so they're gonna. I'll reiterate it for each game we talk about. But Xbox Play Anywhere, most of the games they announce, and this is the thing I'm always talking about, like with PlayStation VR. Like they don't need to say, and this game will be on PlayStation VR. They need to do a press conference where they're like. And like every single game coming out this holiday season that's like a PlayStation exclusive all works day one on VR. Like that's the type of thing they need.
Yeah.
That's what Microsoft did with this was like literally every single game they talked about that's a Microsoft exclusive is both platforms.
Yeah, I'm hoping Sony can do similar things.
So next they talked about Killer Instinct, which apparently is now the #1 fighting game on Xbox.
Console.
On Xbox, I think too.
And that's also now Xbox Play Anywhere. And they're adding General ROM from Gears of War. So if you're into that, that's a new thing. Forza Horizon 3 was officially announced.
It looks good.
It takes place in Australia. It has trucks, cars, a wide range of venues. It is also Xbox Play Anywhere. And this is what I love. Because like this is one of those things for the first time, it really sounds like Microsoft is actually paying attention to what PC gamers actually want, besides Windows 10.
10 years of lip service led to this conference.
Because they said, so this first person's going to be playing Horizon 3.
Getting their butts kicked so bad is what led to this conference.
But they said, all right, so the first person is playing on the new Xbox One S. This next person is playing on an Xbox One. This person's playing at 4K, like Ultra HD resolution on a high-end PC.
With like a chair, pedals, a steering wheel.
And then this other person's playing on like a mid-range PC. And then, so they're all playing independently, doing their own thing. And they're like, oh, but what if they want to play together? And then it just syncs the worlds up, syncs the weather, syncs everything else.
It does 4-player co-op this time,
4-player
too.
co-op on
Yeah.
the campaign, and they all just joined up. Now let's see if it actually works that well. On Horizon 2, it mostly worked like that. You could just join someone else's session, a couple seconds of looking, and unless the servers were down, which did happen to us a couple times, so like it wasn't perfect.
It's every multiplayer game.
Right,
ever.
but you were able to just jump into someone else's world. So if they pull this off, Horizon 3 sounds amazing. I was just talking to Singularity 80 and Ultra Grunt and Tyler before this press conference, and we were talking about getting Horizon 3, but we were kind of having that little argument you always do, which platform do we buy it on? Because Shane and Tyler don't want
so
Windows
nice.
10, which I fully respect. But now it doesn't matter. Like, we'll just be able to play together no matter what. And
For Joel, who doesn't have an Xbox anymore,
Yeah.
you can still get it without having to go out and spend $300 on an Xbox if you
Yeah.
really want to play it with us.
think about for me, okay, so I've been thinking this thing, I want to build a driving simulator downstairs, right?
Yeah.
I was thinking, am I going to build another computer to stick in that corner
Yeah.
there? No, I'm not. I'm going to drag my Xbox One over there and plug it in, and now whichever one I want to go play on, I can.
That is awesome. Obviously they did like. Something I'm hoping for definitely down in the future is like, same thing. You guys play Battlefield. I would love to be able to play on my PS4 own Battlefront and play with Dave on Battlefront on PC. So everyone can
That'd
get
be
on the
amazing.
system they want to play on.
yeah.
For me, I don't care. Crush me on the control. I don't care. I just don't want to buy it twice. So obviously they didn't announce that. But like
You will, but you don't want to buy it twice.
I will. No, but I'm like, that would be such a nice thing in the future. I think all the stuff they're announcing today was like, I hope this becomes 100% the norm, and then Sony does more things like that. So, anyways, yeah.
Now,
amazing.
Before we keep going, I know we're all like on a high right now. Let's just bring it down just a little bit.
Ooh.
They haven't pulled this all off yet.
Yeah.
It's Microsoft. They've screwed us over plenty of times in the past. Who knows what will happen? But from a purely marketing standpoint, this is the closest to perfect they've ever done when it comes to something like this. So next they showed off Recore, which is again going to be XPA. That's what I'm calling Xbox Play Anywhere. Both platforms. We still don't know a ton about what the game is, but it looks like slightly futuristic Ratchet and Clank run around beat up robots game.
It had a little bit of a Half-Life feel with the robots.
Instead of XPA, just call it
Dog.
XPA.
Then they showed off Final Fantasy 15. Does anyone here interested in Final Fantasy?
I'm gonna play it. It looks fun.
It actually looks like a cool Final Fantasy, but when I look at it, I just see hours. And I'm like, nope. But it looks cool.
That probably wasn't the best demo.
No, it's a pretty bad demo, actually.
Yeah.
But that's not Xbox Play Anywhere, obviously, because that's multi-platform. Then they showed off the Division Underground DLC.
Which did nothing.
Randomly generated content? No, thank you.
Unless Ubisoft comes out at the Ubisoft press conference, I want to hear them talk more about their plans for Division. Otherwise, a new content pack doesn't really do much for me, because we haven't finished the
I'm
content they
still
have.
enjoying the game. We're still
Right,
playing
but
through
I'm
it.
not,
I don't really care about it.
That pack is for end game players who have been
Right.
at 30 for
Yeah.
2 months now. And
I hate
bored.
anything randomly generated.
and they're showing it off
I wonder
because
if
it's
they're
going to be
gonna do
first
a
on
level
Xbox.
bumps.
Well, I bet.
Well, they always do. I mean, that's every add-on pack for an MMO-like game. But that's going to be early on Xbox One, so that's why they showed it off. And then Battlefield 1, you'll be able to play a week early with EA Access. You'll be able to play October 13th.
Same as Hardline and everything else
Yeah.
they've done recently.
So, yeah.
They did the same thing with Battlefront. Battlefront.
Yeah.
Then they talked about Xbox Live. The Xbox Live servers, they're bringing to more places around the world for faster service. Joel, you were taking notes on this. I'd step out.
They're
of
basically making it so you can connect better. So you can create clubs. So
Yeah,
you
yeah,
could
yeah.
have a CSG.
It sounded a lot like Steam groups, honestly, or something like that.
Steam groups, yeah.
Or PS4 has a group things as well. You can kind of find like a Dark Souls group or whatever kind of.
Yeah,
group.
It also helps you connect with other multiplayers, like other players.
Yeah, there's
who
something where it
wanna-
allows you to add tags. So you say like, I want to looking for Dark Souls people, chat enabled, such and such hardcore mode. Like you can do that, and then you'll find like-minded people, I guess, to play.
Cool.
That's pretty cool.
I mean, it wasn't a huge feature, but it is showing that they're trying to get more people.
It's a nice way to expand the service.
especially when going, across platforms.
Well, the core Xbox Live service already works really well, so like they, it's a smart feature to add. They're bringing Cortana to Xbox One. No one cares. Oculus now supports Minecraft on Xbox, or
No,
I guess it's a Microsoft
They didn't
conference.
really.
so
I didn't really
Minecraft
see
is
it was
a
really
Microsoft
clear. I just
property.
John Carmack came out and he was using Oculus, the Samsung kind of one, or whatever it's called.
No, that's the Gear.
Sorry,
it's the
Samsung.
Gear VR. So
Okay.
the point of that conference was to show that they've got this Minecraft Realms.
Yeah.
which means it's platform independent.
Yeah.
So you can play online on someone's server, whether you're on your Xbox or your tablet or computer, and everybody playing the same server. And they show the Gear VR just to show that it's just so.
Yeah, it just seemed like the VR works. They had this character actually had little VR goggles on it, so you could tell who's using what.
It's pretty cool.
And then they jumped into the new Xbox controller that's going to be shipping with the Xbox One S. Now you can get it in different different colors. So they have the Xbox Design Lab where you can customize the sticks, the buttons, the faceplate, the back plate, the side accents.
That was really
very
cool.
much like the Motorola did with the what was the name of that one?
The Moto X Pure.
Moto X Pure.
And it's at 8 million color combinations. Like, I might pick me up a CSG.
Now, the only thing that
Xbox
would have been
controller
cooler on that is if somehow if you could order the Xbox One Slim online.
in the same colors.
Yeah, because obviously if you buy the box, you're getting whatever the standard
yeah.
controller is. But that would have been awesome if you could order it and it would like somehow be put in the box.
That would be-
I know that's probably too complicated, but that would have been pretty badass.
I want to make a note here too. Like one of the things that's always drawn me to PC is how you can customize it for like your personality and your like personal preferences. But now we've got like console mods. Now you can mod your console's colors and all. Like you can really personalize your experience on consoles too, which is pretty wild.
Yeah.
Like software and hardware.
You could have Evil Viking controller, Dave.
Yeah.
Or General Dave controller.
Oh, all right. Now we're talking.
Then they came out to talk about ID at Xbox, which is their indie game initiative they have at Xbox. They announced that Limbo is free starting today. They showed off just a little bit of Cuphead. We still don't really know much about it. I kind of was hoping for gameplay or release.
Outside
more
of
release
the
date.
conference itself, I heard the rumor mill that the reason we're not hearing much about it this year is because they've actually expanded the game and it's going to be like a full platformer now, like a long game platformer.
Yeah, I read that too. Yeah, more
Yeah.
2D platforming because it was I think a lot more bosses only.
Yeah.
and they're actually adding more Mario-esque like levels
Gotcha.
in between bosses.
I'm super excited for that.
Yeah.
I don't even like platformers, but I feel like I could really get into that one.
I think the ID at Xbox in general was really cool because they're creating again that wide platform of independent developers. What was the game that we saw? The part of ID. It was a few.
Oh, We Happy Few. We're about to get to that.
yeah.
We have that to me was like the pinnacle of wow. This is a really cool looking independent game.
Right before they showed that off, they announced that Ark is going to be Xbox Play Anywhere, but I'm 100% sure it's not going to be Steam copies of Ark are going to be Xbox Play Anywhere. I'm sure it's going to be bought through the Windows Store, which makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, they have their own store, but definitely don't buy that yet. Wait till it's released because right now it is garbage on Xbox One and barely runs on PCs. So, bless you. And then they showed off We Happy Few, which is creepy.
Yeah, it was like a creepy Bioshock meets what's that game? The Stanley Parable. It kind of reminded me of Stanley Parable
A little bit of
bit.
Dishonored too,
A
actually.
little bit of Soma,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I want to say for me, going into the beginning of that presentation, I was convinced it was a new Bioshock game, but their presentation impressed me so much that even though it wasn't a Bioshock game, I still wasn't disappointed. I'm still very excited.
You're
for
like,
it.
I'm just gonna pretend it was a Bioshock game and buy it as a Bioshock
It
game.
looks amazing.
It looks really amazing. I mean, we didn't see like a lot of real gameplay or anything, but
The world
concept,
alone is
the
so
concept looks cool. So looking
awesome.
forward to seeing more from that. And then, in kind of a surprise, I think they brought out someone from CD Projekt Red, and it was great because Dave was looking down at his phone and they said, "A very independent developer." Whoop!
That wasn't the only thing that popped up.
And I like how they said, "Would you like to play a game of Gwent?"
Yes, I would.
Gwent is real. They've been working on it for a year. The whole year where they were denying that they were making a
I know,
standalone
those
Gwent game.
bitches.
They apparently had a team of like 30 people.
Yeah, it's a huge
working on
team.
Gwent.
That was super surprised.
Yeah.
So it's going to be full-blown cross-play multiplayer experience between PCs and consoles, single-player campaign,
I was hoping for that. I was hoping for it.
and now the factions are going to be Skellige, Northern Realms, Scoia'tael, and Monsters. Now, Dave, what does that mean for factions?
Skellige is the newest faction in the DLC for Witcher, and it's not one of the original core factions. The faction of Nilfgaard from the Empire of the South, that's missing. That's my faction that I always play, and I feel like it's gonna come, but maybe they're gonna add it as like a little like free bonus, maybe a few months after the game's been balanced.
I think
Do you think it's
they're gonna
possible
even add
that
more
they
decks too.
Do you think it's possible they wanted to add it, but then, since they originally made it as a single-player only mini game, did they realize that maybe it wasn't balanced well enough as is, and they're going to have to retool that deck?
I think so. I think not just balance, but also because Nilfgaard and Northern Realms have, in some ways, similar playstyles. It's the factions that Joel and I play. So I feel like we're going to see some changes to Nilfgaard, and then it's going to be like a few months after the game launches, like free extra faction. You know they would do that.
Oh yeah, free everything.
So that's really cool, and it'll be coming first on Xbox and PC. It's got a little platform exclusivity. I'm assuming it'll be on PS4 like a month later.
And then iOS, Android,
Yeah.
it's going to be multi-platform for.
Did they announce
everything.
iOS and Android too?
The Android icon was on there. I was pretty sure.
We'll get back to. We'll talk about that on the podcast. I'm sure.
Okay.
More information will be out. Then they showed off Tekken 7 very briefly. It's coming in early 2017. You'll get a free Tekken Tag 2 backwards compatible copy. I think it's available now, and I think it's not free if you just pre-order. I thought it was just free.
I think it's just free. That's how
for
that's the
Xbox
impression I
Gold.
got.
For Xbox Gold.
Yep.
Then Dead Rising 4, another Xbox One and PC XPA game.
I enjoyed Dead Rising.
A lot of people
3.
like Dead Rising. They.
I think we would have a lot of fun playing that together.
I think we would, especially if it's multi-platform. We don't have to worry about it. But that's coming this holiday. Scalebound, dragon fighting game. None of us were that interested in it, but it's another Xbox One and Windows 10 exclusive. It's Xbox Play Anywhere. It is co-op. You fight dragons. Sea of Thieves, also Xbox One and Windows 10.
That was a surprise.
I loved how every single new game announcement, like they just finish one, the screen, like everything darkens, and it just goes
right into the
Xbox
next one.
One and Windows 10 exclusive, like every single time.
Yes.
So Sea of Thieves is a very cartoony looking, but still very fun, casual pirate
It's first
game.
person. It's kind of Borderlands-ish, Fable looking, but it's just open seas. Play with your friends. Captain a ship.
So
and everything. And
we
just
don't know a lot
name
about it yet. We don't really know what the overall gameplay loop's going to be, but it looks cool.
It looks
Yeah,
like
exactly.
something we would have fun.
It looks
And
like something we would have a lot of
more
fun
than
with.
4 players. So
It does.
Getting large crews.
It looked like
Exploring islands.
It looked like maybe 2 4-player teams playing against each other, or 2.
I think it was more. I think I saw more than 4 players on the boat. Either
Okay.
way,
State of Decay, Xbox Play Anywhere again. Was it State of
I'm
Decay
excited
2 or
about
just
that.
State of Decay?
It's State of Decay 2.
Okay.
I was hoping to see more gameplay of that, but
I'm hoping-
if
I'm hoping
that's
they go
co-op.
early. That's a ways
co-op. Oh my gosh, that
They
is
go
gonna be
multiplayer
a
with
phenomenal
that.
game. Because the first one was really good. Like if we were
Oh,
playing
yeah.
all 4 of us in that game, it was a fantastic game, honestly.
And then Halo Wars 2, also Xbox One and Windows 10 exclusive. And they waited till the end to say it's Xbox Play Anywhere, but it is. And the beta starts now, which was also really cool.
It had a really nice trailer too. I really enjoyed that CGI
yeah.
trailer.
I didn't play the original Halo Wars. Any of you guys play it?
It was Xbox
I have it,
exclusive. I didn't play it because it was
I
exclusive.
have it now. It works on Xbox One. If you
Okay,
want to
cool.
borrow it.
Yeah.
But I'm going to just try the beta of this. I think
Yeah.
I'll just hop right in. But
I heard you can actually use a mouse too on the Xbox One as well for games.
oh,
like
for the
that.
Xbox
That's
One,
what
that'd be
I've
smart. I would definitely want to play that on PC. If I just any sort of game like that, it'd make sense to use with a mouse and keyboard if you can. But
Clicks
that's
per
cool.
second.
And then, so they came out to summarize everything they'd done,
Oh my
and they
gosh.
Phil Spencer kept dropping these little hints,
I was
like
so worried he wasn't going to say anything.
like the
at this
future
point.
of hardware, the best, the whatever, and you're like,
It,
you
it,
just
that was,
know.
it was done well. It was done well because I was like, you're teasing me now. You're teasing me.
But then, so we assumed they were going to be announcing a more powerful Xbox. But they were really dancing around it like they could have ended the conference, but he was smiling just a little bit too much.
Yeah.
Like they were just playing it up like, but just one more thing. And then the screen goes dark, and they start interviewing game developers about
Which
what
I
they
think
want in the
is
computer.
Fantastic way to do it.
And I like, this is really like the way Sony talked about at the PS4 launch, how you could share games. They made that little condescending
Yeah.
video when they said over. Dude, they did the same thing. They said real, true 4K resolution like 5 times. Like, real 4K.
yeah.
And then like they had even 4K icons on top of. They had a GPU without a heatsink on it. Like how many people even know what that is? But they started talking about how they want a real powerful console for a true VR experience, which I'm assuming means they've got a deal they're working out to bring VR to Xbox.
Well, they
in
had
some form
Todd
or
Howard
fashion.
in the middle of the video, and they announced last
I wonder if
night that-
Oculus is actually if they're gonna buy.
It'd
something
be
like that.
V5.
Oh no, Oculus
It'd
is
be
Facebook.
V5.
Never mind.
Yeah,
my
it'd be
bad,
V5
my
if
bad.
it was going to be anything. Or the Razer open source VR. But
Well, I hope it's an actual Xbox One, but.
But anyway, so it's going to be coming holiday 2017. 6 teraflops of GPU power.
For comparison,
For comparison, that would be about a GTX 1070, I believe, is the.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
But it's probably going to be AMD based, so I would say actually the AMD RX 480 is probably the closest. Dave, can you look up how many teraflops that is?
That's ridiculous.
Real
what are we
4K
at
resolution
now
support.
for the consoles?
Oh,
They're like around
one. Yeah, one-ish. But teraflops is not, for anyone listening who doesn't know and thinks teraflops is like how you actually measure GPU performance, how a GPU performs in games relies on a lot of different factors. And just raw teraflops doesn't control everything. Because you can get GPUs with more CUDA cores, fewer CUDA cores, different amounts of memory bandwidth, different amounts of stream processors. You can do all kinds of stuff, and that doesn't necessarily mean one will run faster than the other because there's so many variables. So what we can tell you as pretty hardcore PC guys,
I doubt that they're going to like completely blow it on the rest of the specs.
6 teraflops.
Yeah, PS4 is 1.84.
Okay, 6 teraflops is very, very good. And for the question you asked on the podcast a while ago, you were asking about the PlayStation 4K Neo, which we don't really know anything about.
Which we're not going to find anything about tonight either.
Would Project Scorpio, if it had 6 teraflops, would it probably be able to play 4K games in good settings? Yes. Now,
on a quick note, the 480 is only 5.5 teraflops.
Okay. So
it's a modified version.
It could probably a modified version of the RX 480.
Yeah.
Well, the cool thing about this too is every other console's been APU. Like the way they showed that video, it looked like a standalone discrete.
Yeah.
Even I noticed
which means the 8 cores for the processor is just for processing.
I'm guessing then we're probably looking at a Project Zen, one of the AMD's new 8-core CPUs, and then their new Polaris. Yeah, Pascal is NVIDIA, right?
Thinking
right
about
now.
Uncharted.
Yeah, Polaris.
Last of Us.
So it's coming holiday 2017. I was expecting this year maybe.
No,
I was expecting at least summer or something.
But they also announced that all the games will work
on every system, which is smart.
I'm guessing the way they're doing the Play Anywhere now with the Windows 10 games and the Xbox games, when you buy a game, it'll, I guess, maybe give you either enhanced textures by downloading them or on the disc.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll be curious to see how that works. But we've got to wrap up because we got to get to the PC Gamer Show. But overall, what do you guys think about the press conference?
That was a 10 out of 10.
Excellent.
Yep.
What on earth could Sony possibly like? I'm not trying to be down on Sony because we haven't seen their press conference. I have no idea what they could do that would be better than this.
I don't think Sony's going to be able to do anything hardware-wise that's going to do that because, I mean, if they've already said they're not going to be talking about the next one, outside of maybe like a refined PS4 that's, I think, like the Slim, what I do hope they could do really well is just present the PSVR really well. Just show off some awesome games. Do the same thing of like, connecting games together, Battlefront. Like they can still have an awesome keynote, but I think it's gonna be, you're not gonna be able to. I don't think they're gonna be able to beat it hardware wise.
No, I don't think so.
At least not this E3. So
yeah.
Apparently, Arma's up first, so I'm out.
All right, we're on over to the PC show. Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you all later.